Old Alabama Gardener. Today I'm talking about how to make a low-carb ham sandwich. The first step is to melt about 3/4 of a tablespoon of butter. And we're going to use almond flour, and that's what makes it low carb. The recipe is in the description box below this video, but I'll repeat it right here. So we're going to start with a 1/4 cup, 1/4 a cup of almond flour, and then we're going to use some aluminum-free baking powder, 1/2 of a teaspoon. Now I'm going to add a dash of salt. If you don't want it, don't use it. To give this bun a little bit of flavor, I'm going to add some garlic powder. And it is 1/2 of a teaspoon. You can add more if you like, or don't put any in if you don't like it. And then I'm adding the same amount of onion powder, 1/2 of a teaspoon. And because I like an onion flavored bread, I'm going to add a little bit of minced onion. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. Now I am using a 1/2 a teaspoon measuring, so I'm going to do that twice. Now I'm going to put some psyllium husk in it because it adds some texture and some fiber. But if you're not using the psyllium husk, then you'll be sure to reduce your liquids by 1/2. So I'm adding 1 teaspoon of the psyllium hulls to this recipe. So now this is our dry ingredients. There's our almond flour. There's our baking powder. There is our garlic powder. There is our onion powder. There is our psyllium hull. There is our minced onion. And of course we had a little dash of salt, which I didn't mention there. Now mix up your dry ingredients pretty good before we start adding our wet ingredients. Now for some wet ingredients, I'm going to use egg whites, and I'm going to use some organic heavy whipping cream. You could also use 1/2 and 1/2. On the egg whites, the box says 3 tablespoons equals 1 egg. So that's what I'm going to measure out, 3 tablespoons of egg white. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the 1/2 and 1/2, or the heavy whipping cream, whichever one you're using. Now add the melted butter back in. We'll get ready to start mixing everything together. As you begin to mix it, mix in the almond flour and psyllium hulls, all of that will kindly start to form up a little bit stiffer than it looks here in this picture. So just be patient with it. All right, now put it back into our buttered ramekin, or bowl that we're going to bake it in. Although we're not going to bake it, we're going to put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Now, depending on which microwave you have, it might be 1.5 minutes, or it might be 2.5 minutes. So you'll just have to play with that until you get it right, and I'm going to show you in a minute what the texture will be like when it's ready. All right, so here is our bun that we're going to use to make our ham sandwich with. You can see the texture looks a little bit spongy, which is just about right. Now I'm going to toast that bun on the top and the bottom in a skillet, as you see me here. So that's why I'm putting in a little bit of olive oil. Now you could also use butter if you want to. Now, as it's beginning to cook, you want to test it once in a while. Take a look at it, and when it gets to this brownness right there, turn it over. Okay, now it's toasted the way I want it on both sides, and now I'm going to split it in half. I'm using a bread knife, and if you'll start around the bun like I'm doing here, you'll get a pretty good even cut all the way through. Next comes whatever you want on it. If you want mayonnaise, put mayonnaise on it. If you want mustard, put mustard on it. Whatever you like on your ham sandwich, now is the time to do that. Now I'm going to add a couple thin slices of, this is medium cheddar cheese, but you can use any kind of cheese you like. Now add a nice piece of our lettuce leaf and the ham. I'm going to cut it in half so you can actually get a good view or see what it looks like on the inside, and then we'll take the next step. Now, doesn't that look good? Low carb, and it is good. We're going to show you in just a minute. So here's our low carb sandwich. Low carb alternate bread, we'll call it. Some ham, some cheese, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of mayonnaise. So let's take a bite and see what it tastes like. That's good. That's really a good sandwich. You know, if you're trying to eat low carb and you're missing sandwiches, which many people do, then this is your answer. You can have your sandwich and you can have your low carb too. So this is a ham and cheese, a little bit of lettuce, and low carb bread that I made. You saw me make it. So you know what I'm going to say next, don't you? Ha ha ha. I wish I could share this with you. I wish I could give you a bite of this so you could understand, so you would know how good it really, really is. But you know I can't do that. So you'll have to take my recipe. It's in the description box below. And make your own. Try it. You'll like it. See you next time.